Okay, live Forever United TV with your Manchester United updates, everything going on around the club, transfers on and off the pitch, building up to the final tomorrow. We have a ton to get through this morning, everybody, and we're starting with the striker situation. Is it a tug of war? Is there issues going on behind the scenes? Several reports came out late last night, about Ruben Amorim, his uncertainty and himself questioning himself as well with what his role is at Manchester United, if he can actually do the job, which I thought was kind of ill-timed. I'll talk about the journalist who brought that up. Also, alongside that, the so-called situation between Manchester United's board, hierarchy, recruitment team, structure, whatever you want to call it, versus what Ruben Amorim and his coaching staff wants. It's Gyokeres, it's Delap. Is there any other strikers coming in? What about Benjamin Sesko? That has been talked about as well last night. And obviously, if tomorrow night does go well for Manchester United, there is a world of options open for the club in terms of what they can get this transfer window. We're going to get into all of that. Obviously, we heard great news last night, if you didn't already, regarding who is actually available for the final as well tomorrow night. I'll update you on all of that. But let's get into it straight off the bat with pretty much where we took off last night. So we were talking last night about Ruben Amorim now wanting Victor Gyokeres. And TalkSport ran the story through Ben Jacobs and Alex Crooks saying that Manchester United's head coach Ruben Amorim is now pushing for Victor Gyokeres as his number one striker. Then reports came out later on last night, after everything had been said and done, about the Delap situation. And it was Laurie Whitwell from The Athletic that then ran the Delap story. He is Manchester United's number one target. The Athletic have been steadfast with this and have gone with this story from the get-go. Cunha, done. Delap is now obviously the main target for Manchester United. And Whitwell, in his piece last night in The Athletic, went into the fact that Manchester United had held face-to-face talks with executives of Manchester United. That Ipswich Town had allowed him to leave the club while the season was still on, to go to Manchester to get a sense of what it would be like to be in and around Old Trafford and be a Manchester United player. They allowed him to leave to go and talk to Manchester United executives. So them face-to-face talks have held place, have now been held, and Liam Delap is weighing up his options. They do go into detail, and Ornstein pretty much said the same thing as well last night in another separate piece on a video, is saying that Liam Delap obviously has spoken to Manchester United. Them talks now are clear, but he is also talking to several other clubs. He is going through the clubs one by one to see what suits him. Now, you can get upbeat, you can get a bit narky, the fact that Manchester United have come calling and you're going looking at other clubs and you don't want that player. But I've said this many a times before, the times are changing with footballers right now and they are looking for what best suits them. Now, in these reports as well, and there was a few reports in this regarding the Delap situation, saying that he is going to be guaranteed a certain amount of game time. Now, you can look at that a number of ways. Like, yes, you would expect him to get a lot of game time if he was Manchester United's only striker that they brought in this summer. If he's getting a significant amount of game time and it's been put to him like that, does that mean that United expect him to be playing alongside somebody else for that position, or vying for that position with somebody else, i.e. another striker coming in? Now, we know that Manchester United have got Cunha in the bag. We know Romano has said there's room for another 10 as well in Ruben's system, and this summer as well, going off outgoings. But before any outgoings come in and another number 10 arrives, number 9 is priority. And that number 9, I feel, obviously, is where United are at right now. And they can buy Liam Delap without having to sell players. So I think the talks with him are very, very clear. And again, I think United are pushing hard on this just in case the worst scenario happens tomorrow night and United don't beat Spurs. They are then digging around the realms of what have we got? What else have we got to go for? These players, and this is why I said last night, and I've said this in previous days, why Manchester United have got into negotiations or have started to talk to Victor Gyokeres and are now pushing for that deal to happen. I think it's because they know, like, these strikers want to be playing at the top level. And Manchester United are stuck with what they've got in terms of their situation, finances, and everything that's happened before. they've got to be able to negotiate deals for players on partly their terms as well as their own. It's fine saying that this is United, this is the project, but the world really doesn't work like that in the player side of things anymore. It is about what they want as well. So I'm not surprised that all of a sudden Victor Gyokeres has come back onto the table. United need to be ready to go. If that all goes well tomorrow night, which we pray it does, obviously, then Manchester United have to be on the button and ready to go, because it is going to be a free-for-all in terms of players wanting moves, looking at certain clubs, and clubs going in for the top strikers. The Premier League right now is in need of so many strikers for different clubs. We only have to look at the situation with Arsenal, United, Chelsea. There are plenty of clubs there that need strikers in through the door. And Aston Villa as well, another one. I mean, if United are not in the Champions League, then we are scraping the barrel, and there's no guarantee that Liam Delap comes to Manchester United, even if we're not in the Champions League. So, I think what we're looking at here is Manchester United. I think look at Liam Delap as the easier option, easier one to convince. He's the youngest out of him and Gyokeres. Let's just say that. But I think what we're also seeing here is that they think they can convince Liam Delap even without European football. I think there is something that they feel they can do there, where I think it's quite clear with Victor Gyokeres where Manchester United stand and where he stands. Like, you need to win the Europa League. You have to be in the Champions League, or Gyokeres is off the table completely. And I think that's clear, but maybe not as much with Liam Delap, which is why I think eggs are probably more in the Delap basket at the moment than the Gyokeres one. Now, the other story which I mentioned there at the top was that Ruben Amorim and his coaching staff, and this is another report that's come out from Graham Bailey, has said that they want and prefer a out-and-out striker, a ready-made fixed striker to come in to help Manchester United in terms of the goal output for the club. Now, that's quite clear, and I think that's where a lot of Manchester United fans are at. And you only have to look into what comments have been going online and what people are saying about this situation and who United should go for. The story that comes out from Graham Bailey is Ruben and his staff think that Victor Gyokeres is the right type of striker for Manchester United, whereas Jason Wilcox, Manchester United's technical director, is all in on Liam Delap and feels like he is the right man for Manchester United. That's the tug of war that's been reported. Now, it might not be that way, because Ruben Amorim has forever and a day insisted that everybody at Manchester United is aligned and everybody's on the same road in terms of what they think is the right player for United, the right transfers, the right targets. And so this could just be a story that's been brought up that is, I don't know, maybe looking for the headlines, maybe looking for a few clicks. I mean, the fact that Ruben is now talking to Gyokeres, as according to the reports last night, Romano saying that Manchester United are well and truly in for Gyokeres. Even Laurie Whitwell himself of the Athletic have said that United are looking at Victor Gyokeres as well, alongside Liam Delap. It is Delap first, and the Athletic are sticking by it. Like I said, Delap's number one, and then it's the others. I think it goes into Gyokeres afterwards. The options that do open up for United with Champions League, I think, is what we're talking about in recent days. Like I just said then, Delap is somebody who they feel they can get over the line if they don't have Champions League. I think that they feel like that deal is still doable with or without. I think with Champions League, you can pretty much nail down Liam Delap. It's done. Easy. I think United get that deal done. I do believe that Manchester United need two number 9s, though. I really do. And I think that the situation with Rasmus Højlund will develop off the back of that also with United. And then you're looking at what Romano said as like whatever players leave Manchester United will then determine what other forwards come in. So 2 9s, 2 10s, whichever way it goes. But Manchester United's look on Liam Delap as well. And this is where the sports science and the football analysis comes into it. So the data-based research that Manchester United have been so far behind. And a lot of fans will ignore this. A lot of fans will just say, look, we need Gyokeres, we need the ready-made fixed striker at Manchester United. But the same fans will be the ones that were crying out that Manchester United weren't doing what Brighton were doing, what Bournemouth were doing, what Brentford were doing in their recruitment teams, in the data analysis world of football. And now United have fallen behind on this. The data analysis report, and it was a great piece from Laurie Whitwell on Liam Delap yesterday, and why they are hell-bent on him being the right man is because of that analysis. And in particular, the runs that he makes. So Liam Delap, according to The Athletic, covers 34% of all of Ipswich's goals in the Premier League this season. I think it is actually overall competitions, actually. I'll double check on that in a bit. But 34% of the goals for Ipswich this season are Liam Delap. They then go on to talk about how Liam Delap creates a lot of his chances. 10 non-penalty goals in the Premier League this season, as well as another reason why Manchester United should be going for him. But the big push on the data analysis for Liam Delap was the runs that he makes. With 75% of them runs either around the back of the defender, on through balls, over the top, or making runs into the box from crosses. And that was where Manchester United, according to The Athletic, were pushing hard and wanting Liam Delap for them reasons. It's his overall work. He's like a throwback striker, someone who just wants to be in the box as quick as possible and get on the score sheets. And this is why United were looking at him. Obviously, the finances and the package suit Manchester United as well, and that will be a big say in many transfers this summer for the club. But when they're looking at the data analysis and everything that comes with it, that's a big part of it. 75% of his runs, there's hardly any coming off the actual defender and holding the ball up. He's not that type of striker. And that's what everybody at United have been moaning about with Rasmus Højlund at the moment. He's never where he needs to be in the box. And Manchester United need that type of striker to get in. So there has been a massive push from the Manchester United directors, recruitment team to look into the reality of Manchester United needing to look this way forward with transfers, with looking at the data, with properly analysing everything. And that's why there is a big clamour for Liam Delap. Wilcox is hell-bent on Liam Delap being the right man for Manchester United, the reports are saying. And this is what we've got right now. We've got Ruben, possibly, who wants Gyokeres because he knows what he is. Let's not forget as well, like, Ruben Amorim did want Liam Delap back in the day for Sporting last summer as well. So he sees something in Delap also. Wilcox sees something definitely in Delap, and Manchester United are pushing hard on that. But which way we go, we don't know. I think there's more of a guarantee you're going to get goals from Gyokeres. But you know what? If you surround Liam Delap with the right type of service and you bring in more recruitment alongside him, maybe he will get you that 20 goal. We just don't know. We don't know if Victor Gyokeres is going to flop either in this Man United side. It's all up in the air, and it is all based off the recruitment side of things. Where do you gamble more? Because it is a big gamble. Because if Delap comes in, he could literally be our only number 9. United should realistically, I feel, be going for both players. If we get in the Champions League, you should be going for Delap and Gyokeres. We can afford both players, and we know we can afford both. But I feel like with what's been said by The Athletic last night, and them being so insistent on this throughout the last few weeks and months, in fact, that Delap is United's top target, I feel like United are going over the top and overboard and trying to get Liam Delap in. I do believe that it is him that they want first and foremost. And if we win the Europa League and the Gyokeres option opens up, United can get him. There are concerns from the Arsenal side that United might actually come in and sneak Victor Gyokeres away. There is nothing dead in the water. Laurie Whitwell, as you can see going across the bottom of your screen there, has also said that United are also in for not just Delap and Gyokeres, but Osimhen and Brian Mbeumo as well as other options. And this, I think, is where it's going to start getting interesting now. And we are just all waiting for that actual game tomorrow night, that final. The outcome of that is just going to determine everything which goes forward for Manchester United. Let's get your initial thoughts on this in the live chat, everybody, as well. Starting first of all with a mega super chat from Manny. Thank you, buddy. If players are shopping and we're a vendor, we are better off finding 3 or 4 good workhorses. That's what Amorim did at Sporting and hit number 1 in one season. Amorim thinks outside the square, outside the box, outside the square. We have to as well. Look, I don't think... And nobody's saying that Liam Delap isn't the right type of player. I think what it is with United, because we've seen so much crap, it's hard to convince this fan base at the moment that someone that's come from a relegation side that is now in the Championship is the right striker to lead the line for Manchester United, who is 22, off the back of what we've seen with other young strikers coming that are unproven for the football club. That's the only argument against Liam Delap. Look, if we were City right now, or if we were Liverpool right now, and we were their fans, and Manchester United were looking at bringing Liam Delap in, you'd be looking at this as an astute signing. You'd be looking at it and saying, this is a very, very good piece of transfer business from the football club. You'd be all over it. The fact that Manchester United are just so desperate makes you think twice about the type of signing that we're actually making right now. And that's why there is this big debate. People want the ready-made striker and are not looking at the data. They're not even interested in the data, whereas before they've said they need to be all over this. We are that bad. We are looking for the obvious rather than a different way around the problem. We need an obvious player to come in. Like Matheus Cunha is... we are the luckiest club, by the way, on the planet to have someone like Cunha who is hell-bent on coming to Man United. We really are. I think this could be the difference in Manchester United moving up the table next season alone, just to signing in Matheus Cunha. I really think that he is going to be an absolute star at Manchester United. I really do. And I still thank my lucky stars that he is a Manchester United fan and wants to come to this club. Like, he has been sold by the project. And it does show that United do have that pull still. And we discussed this last night, and offering the project to players, convincing players off the back of the project. I think that's where Manchester United have got a little bit of a pull still with what's going on right now. And again, like, players coming into Manchester United are younger players coming in, like we discussed last night with Mastantuono. Look, do you want to be part of coming into the redevelopment of Manchester United? This is the way the club is going. It's younger players. And I think this is where we're actually at right now. And I think we have gotten a little bit of advantage over other clubs because there's so many first-team players leaving Manchester United that there is actually room for someone to really stake a claim and be a first-team regular at this football club right now. So I think that's where Manchester United do hold a few cards. Hi Adam, it's my 60th birthday today. Winning tomorrow would be the perfect birthday present. Well, in case you don't, Andrew, in case we do let you down tomorrow, happy birthday today. Go out and enjoy your day today, my friend. And don't worry about tomorrow. Deal with that then. But make sure that you have a great birthday, mate, first of all. Unless we change the way we're playing in the final third, we'll have the same with any striker. For me, that means Rasmus could actually work behind an experienced striker if we improve the attack. Look, Rasmus is off the bench at best for Man United, and that is it. That's all he's good for. And I don't mean that harshly. I mean that in a way that United will struggle to sell him because of the price we paid for him this summer. And if his future at his football club is next season going to be... if his future is going to be at this football club next season, then it's on the bench. It's as simple as that. Or find a way around getting out of this football club if you want to play first-team football, because next season you won't be. You will be a bench player and part of a rotation if necessary. And that's it. That's it. Like, forget about the price tag. We can't even think about that. It pains us to think about it, but that's where we're at right now. He needs to come in and be that type of player that just makes his mark off the bench and maybe learns on the training ground with different strikers and different forwards and starts to adapt. He needs time to grow. I think he's been thrown right in when his tools in his arsenal are nowhere near sharp enough to lead the line for Manchester United. Pap says, Delap feels like Evan Ferguson a couple of years ago. Granted, he had injuries, but never lived up to the expectations. We need to get a striker in their prime for the first time in a long time. Yep, and that pretty much is what I was saying before, Paps. That's where Manchester United fans, I think, are at right now. They want that quick fix because they ultimately know that Manchester United buying younger players in the past hasn't always worked. And the proof is there in the likes of Rasmus Højlund, in bringing through a couple of academy players, in looking at the likes of Joshua Zirkzee. Like, we've seen that in the forward line, you need somebody who has got that X factor, has got that experience, has got that understanding and leadership quality, I think, more than anything, and can handle it. Composure is another big word when it comes to Manchester United's forwards and what we lack desperately. And I think this is where United are actually looking at. And it is a signing. Excuse me. Delap is a signing for the future. And I'll say it again, like, if we were in a more comfortable position and we were looking at Delap, no one would have an issue with the signing. It makes sense on so many levels to bring him in. The other problem, the only problem that you've got, or what Man United fans have got, is we need somebody else with him we can't rely on him to be that leading forward that's going to take United back up that table. He just doesn't have enough experience. So that's where I think the argument is on it as well. I said last night, Manchester United are all too willing to spend big on younger players. They will invest in future stars of the football club. And they are, I think this is where it's missing it a little bit, because that's great for them. It's not great for Ruben Amorim, because he will be out of the door in a year's time. And that's the difference in it. Yes, these are great for the football club, and this is how the club needs to go. Are you going to stick with Ruben Amorim through all of this, or will these younger players adapt to the life at Manchester United and this type of intense football that Ruben wants to play? Are you going to stay with him all that time? Because the clamour will be and the pressure will be to get rid of him. Ruben's fighting against the future of this football club and people that are going to be there forever and a day in that Man United board of directors, recruitment team and management team. They're safe. Ruben's not. He's the one with a head on the chopping block, and he's looking at players that he knows he can work with next season instantly. Like, I think Delap will work, but there are better. And I think that's the whole argument in all of this. Alonso with a super chat says, regardless of moves, siege mentality from these players are needed. Everyone for each other. Cheers, Adam. Thank you, Alonso. Love that, mate. Really appreciate that. Roz in with a super chat as well. Thank you, buddy. Delap with Cunha, Bruno, Ahmad and Dorgu giving him service could be a decent striker. He hasn't had a player as good as Cunha at Ipswich. Now, that's the point that we was just making a moment ago. And it's good that Roz has brought it up. Thank you for that, Roz, with that super chat, buddy, because that's the argument for Delap. He has created 34% of Ipswich's goals this season. That's his numbers. The majority of his goals have been created a lot from his own as well, was also in that report. The runs that he makes are runs that Bruno might pick out more, that he moans that Rasmus isn't in position for a lot of the time. It doesn't moan about it, but he has alluded to it. Maybe that's why Delap is the better striker. Anyway, that I think it's a good point there from Ross, and it's well made, mate, because I think Delap is getting thrown under the bus a little bit here because of the need for Manchester United right now and what's happening at the football club. And people are looking at it in a different way completely. Sky right now, just to keep you updated on this. Manchester United currently lead the race to sign Liam Delap. Liam Delap's final decision will be influenced by whether or not United qualify for the Champions League. Again, it is coming down to tomorrow night, and United have their fingers on the buttons, ready to press and ready to go. That's the update coming out of Sky as well. And again, going back quickly, just on that before we move on to the next story, is how lucky we are to actually have Matheus Cunha through the door already without the need of Champions League football. That is going to go a long way for Man United next season. He's going to add more of a goal threat and composure and character and experience into that team and that front line. So we're already better off than what we are this season. 100% better off because we've got Cunha. Let's get this next one right, because Manchester United, alongside this, and Ben Jacobs was saying as well. Now, remember when I said that Manchester United are all too willing to spend big on younger players? All of a sudden, Benjamin Šeško has gone quiet on a lot of football teams' radar. Like, he was set for Arsenal. He was set for Bayern Munich. He was set for a few different clubs. Now, Benjamin Šeško, again, has been that player that has just been bubbling up in the background. Another decent season in the Bundesliga. Nothing to get overly excited about. Good. Leipzig are that sort of middle-of-the-road sort of side. So when you look at Benjamin Šeško, you would say, again, like, in a better side, would he be even better than what he is now? Someone will invest in Benjamin Šeško. I mean, straight away there, again, tomorrow night, if United win, Benjamin Šeško comes into the equation. He does. Now, he's worth a lot more in terms of what RB Leipzig are asking for, and isn't as cheap a deal as Delap and Gyokeres. But Benjamin Šeško is on the cards for Manchester United. We have the connections with Christopher Vivel, obviously at RB Leipzig, and a deal can be structured easily with United. The wage package is not high on Benjamin Šeško. And overall, if you're spreading out the cost of these instalment payments for someone like Benjamin Šeško, and you take into account the fact that Marcus Rashford, his wages and transfer fee that's coming off the books would easily cover a deal for that. Forget about the transfer fee. It's all about what United can afford. Yes, we can moan about how much we've spent overall on that transfer fee and say that, look, here comes another Rasmus Højlund. Okay, it's all about what fits. And I think United, part of them, are scared. I think they know that Matheus Cunha and his numbers are probably not going to be judged as much as what the forward is and the number 9 at Manchester United when he comes in. So, for instance, if Delap comes in, everybody will look at Delap, and then his numbers at the end of the season, people will look at, well, 30 million quid, unproven striker, not expecting too much. I think there is an element of that at United as well. I think Matheus Cunha will do a job fine. And his goals and his assists, I think, will come naturally. It's hard for me to explain actually what I'm trying to get at here, but it's more like they're scared that they're going to bring in this big striker and he's not going to hit the numbers. And then everybody's going to come back on them and say, waste of money. I thought we were doing proper recruitment. They're in a lose-lose situation when it comes to deciding what the forward is that comes in, basically, is what I'm saying. And I think that there is a big part of this now, which is going to be determined off, obviously, tomorrow night, of course, the age of the player, the price of the player. And I do think this is why they are looking at the younger players, because they've also got an excuse to get out of it a bit. Well, he's still got time to progress. If you go out and buy an Osimhen or a Gyokeres and they fail, then it is going to come down double hard on them when it comes to what people are saying and the critique coming their way for their recruitment. Is you just gone and bought the obvious? And they can't win with it. There's no way that they can win with it. And this is where all the Manchester United fans are debating and talking about it at the moment. This is what we're up against when it comes to this decision. So, what Manchester United do in this window, obviously after tomorrow night, I think it is going to be absolutely crazy straight away as soon as the final finishes. I think on Thursday, I think news starts to come in straight away, and I think we go bang. This is it. United get on with it. They want to, and Ben Jacobs and a few others last night have said the same thing. They want 2 signings in the first 2 weeks of June. So this is all going to go completely crazy. There was a scary comment that came in from the boys at the Montpelliers last night, which I kind of had at the back of my head, but he came out with it last night and said, look, if they don't get Delap, United don't get Champions League, and then Gyokeres is gone, no Benjamin Sesko, nobody else, it's a fear that they will probably go out and get another 10, and then the 9 situation will be dealt with through Xerxes and Rasmus Højlund. Because I think the Montpelliers have jumped off the back of what David Ornstein said about 3 weeks ago, and that's still there. They may look to what they've already got at number 9 at the football club. And that's the scary bit, I know. But they may, and I've said this before, they may try to make up their numbers just in the number 10s, because Cunha and Bruno will give you a lot of goals. Ahmad will give you a lot of goals and assists. If you put Joshua Xerxes in there and interchange him with Rasmus Højlund, are United stronger? Well, yeah, we're stronger than what we was, but again, this just goes to show how important tomorrow night is. Because United, if we don't get Champions League football, don't have many options when it comes to bringing in a number 9. They don't. Well, you're going to go down the road of Mateta? Like, Palace will demand more than Liam Delap for Jean-Philippe Mateta. And United just don't have that type of money to risk on a player like that, when hopefully they'll be thinking that next season we may be in a better position if we do invest properly. There is a chance that United don't buy a number 9, by the way, which sounds ludicrous, but it's a small chance. But that has been mooted and talked about by these journalists as well. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that isn't the scenario that we're dealing with. But still, it is a concern. And it all gets put to bed tomorrow night, doesn't it, again? Right, more comments in. Let's see what we've got in here as well. Sesko isn't good enough. Our standards are lower than Wolves. We deserve Gyokeres or Osimhen. That's from Nico. Carl says, I just don't think Gyokeres would come to us even with Champions League. Why would 1 year in it and back to fighting for 8th? Well, that would be himself. That would be him not giving himself enough credit then, wouldn't it? If you come to United, you're pretty much writing United off next year then, aren't you, Carl? And a player's not going to think like that, is he? I get what you're trying to say there, and that's a fan look on it, not a player look on it, I don't think. Gyokeres would back himself to help United get back in the Champions League next season, surely. And if you've got Gyokeres in your side, you've got Cunha in your side, you buy another 10, and then you go and get an 8, and possibly the goalkeeper like we've been talking about. United should be back in Europe next season. And you know what? You never know. We might challenge for the top 4. If we manage to be consistent and stay in the top 6, you've seen how spread it is and how difficult it is for somebody to just completely walk away with a top 4 finish this season alone. Like Arsenal in the second to last game have only just confirmed Champions League football in second place. This is the way it's going right now. Everybody can beat everybody, and I think it is an open one. It is, and this is why recruitment on the right type of players and character of players are even bigger than ever. Manny with another super chat. Thank you, Manny. Legend, my friend, again. The better than Delap strikers are not in our budget. How do we fix Delap and Højlund as our options? You fix the spine. Look, you fix everything. This is the whole point of this window, isn't it? It's like Manchester United needs so many players in different positions. This, I think, is, again, the priority list. What's more important? And yes, the forwards are the most important part to hit first. And then you try to build everything else around it. I'm actually glad that United can bring in 2 players that are better in the 10 and the 9 like we're going for. And then we can look at the rest. I think that's important. I think that is really important for United. Right. Moving on as well. There was a story from Mark Ogden from ESPN saying that Ruben Amorim was threatening to leave Manchester United in January. Ill-timed, and really, he's saying an ESPN source, a Manchester United source, has told ESPN that Ruben Amorim in January was doubting his time at Manchester United, but was convinced by Omar Barada to stay on that he will be backed in the summer. He was ready to walk away. And where Ruben has come out and said, look, I'm nowhere near quitting, apparently that wasn't the case behind the scenes. He says, I think it was after the Fulham game when we won 1-0 with Martinez deflected top corner goal, one of the few Premier League wins that we've had. He turned 40 that weekend, and he said he'd been at United 2 months and felt like he was turning 50. He's been working 14-hour days to try and get to grips with what is in front of him task-wise at Manchester United. You'd expect that at United. This is an absolute juggernaut of a football club. It isn't your run-of-the-mill average European team. It just isn't. And I think that Manchester United has really taken its toll on Ruben Amorim. And again, coming in the worst case possible scenario and circumstances at the club has not helped him, not at all. But it isn't normal that a manager would have to live through so much with this team and then get a window. It's not like he's coming in the summer and he can see this mess, but he can see a way out of it instantly. He's had to live through, 7 months of hell with this team and these players failing him constantly, and try and keep his head straight and focused on what might happen in the summer. I just think, and every time he speaks right now, let's just get it over. Let's just get it over. Let's get this season done. It's like he knows something's going to happen in the summer, and he just wants to get through all of the football so it doesn't keep bringing him down. I think that is where Ruben's at, and I think that's quite clear, and it's showing now. It really is. Ross says, a loss would result in a lot of problem players wanting to leave, would make recruitment hard though. Look, a loss would ultimately force Manchester United's hand. The uncertainty of the summer obviously escalates if United don't make Champions League. It does. We're talking here, everything we've spoken about already, and all of the players' names that I have mentioned, I don't think come anywhere near Manchester United if we don't get Champions League football and win tomorrow night. I don't. And then we're going back to scratch, basically. I don't see Ederson. I don't see Gyokeres. I don't see Delap. I honestly, I'm looking then at a different transfer window completely. I am seeing Manchester United maybe their hand being forced into selling players, which a lot would say is probably another positive in a way, a mini positive out of a nightmare scenario of not being in the Champions League. But that, I feel, is massive for United still. Champions League football is is a must, really, for us going forward. But I will be intrigued to see what United do if we don't win tomorrow night. I think even more intrigued than I am in seeing what Man United will do if we got Champions League football, because I kind of know what United are going to do if we get Champions League. If we don't, then I really am going to be interested to see what happens and where United go from here. What type of player comes in. It's going to be a big one. It really is. The goalkeeper is equally as important as improving our strikers. Without the keeper change, we will still struggle. Yes, Gary Neville doesn't reckon United in their top 6 signings this summer need a goalkeeper. Wow, Gary, of all people that understand how important a goalkeeper is, playing in the position that you played in, my friend, I cannot believe you've come out with that. He is a nightmare, and I think he's making defenders actually look bad. It really is. Anyway, moving on to the excellent news last night that we received. Not just Diogo Dalot, and I've been talking because I've known and people have told me that Yoro and Dalot are in. They're in the travelling squad. So too is Joshua Zirkzee. There is a chance he could make the bench for Manchester United tomorrow night. He has travelled with the squad. He has been training with the first team. Zirkzee has made it back somehow for the final. And you know what? That, above anything else, has given me so much more hope and confidence going into a game. Look, he's coming back from injury and he might not even play. But just the sheer fact that he could be on the bench and we could use him for a 15 or 20-minute spell if necessary and take Rasmus Højlund off that pitch, substitute that man off the pitch. Like, seriously, that option just being there gives me a lot more confidence. It's an amazing job in trying to get back from the injury. These players really have actually put the work rate in to try and get back. Thank you for doing it in Europe. Where was it in the Premier League and your performances all along through the season? We're not going to forget that. But again, it just goes to show, Joshua Zirkzee, I feel that we're that desperate to get him back is how poor Rasmus Højlund is. And it just, again, it doesn't fill you with confidence only having Rasmus Højlund there. But Joshua Zirkzee being back is massive. You could look at it a different way. You could look at it as all of these players like Dalot busting a gut to try and get back into the Europa League. Obviously Zirkzee and everything, they're all trying to get back for the big game, the big final. Where have they been all season? Again, you could look at it that way, and it's a completely negative look on things. And you could always drive down that road and always be doubting these players and the mindsets and everything like that. I kind of look at Zirkzee and go, above everybody else, I think he probably deserves to be in that final through what he's been through this season, how he's turned himself around. Obviously, I want Yoro back in there just for his quality ahead of someone like Lindelof, who I don't think deserves to be on the bench for Manchester United. But Zirkzee, Yoro, the players that were brought in this summer that have come under that category of critique from Manchester United's recruitment, I don't think have done too bad. I think Zirkzee's numbers would be right up there if he didn't get injured against Newcastle. I think he was really finding something and finding form. So, again, really happy that he's back. And if he is on the bench, just gives us another option. We can bring Rasmus off at some point. And I think that is massive. And I think that's crucial for Manchester United to have them options off the bench tomorrow night. And we're hearing what Postecoglou is going to be saying today. There's a chance. James Maddison has actually travelled to Bilbao and he's there with the squad right now. So there could be a chance that Tottenham are at full strength as well. And United, they're going to have to play. They're going to have to play a very, very good game. They're going to have to be absolutely on it. I know what people are saying, and United have got that cup final and big game experience and somehow know how to win. We've been beaten by this mob 3 times this season already. So there's no givens at all. There's no givens at all. Some numbers coming out as well regarding the Alvaro Fernandez transfer, what Manchester United will get from any deal with Real Madrid buying Alvaro Fernandez. It's anything from, we're probably looking up to, I reckon, 20 million quid for Manchester United to make out of this. Could be a bit less, could be a bit more, depending on the actual transfer. 40 to 50% sell-on clause for Manchester United. So obviously, that being 100% profit goes a long way in Manchester United making transfers this summer as well. Where Mason Greenwood has said that he also wants to stay at Marseille, there is a story going out that Marseille may be forced into selling him this summer for financial reasons. I don't know how far down the line that is and what's going to happen with that. But again, Manchester United, I think that falls into the category of what Man United do if we don't get European football next season. If we don't win tomorrow night, what are the club going to do? What is our strategy going into this summer? How many players will be sold? I think every single Man United fan is looking at that no matter what anyway. But I think it pushes harder onto that if United don't win tomorrow night. I mean, where are you all at tomorrow? Do you feel confident that United have actually got this? I just don't. I've got zero confidence whatsoever. I'm just waiting to see how this game pans out, literally. I can talk about, like a lot of fans have I've done before. Like, it's a final. United do good in finals. Casemiro's European record final. United have already won in Bilbao. They're doing the same thing that they did last time in terms of building up to the game. And United, I've got a good record. Spurs always bottle it in finals. All of that talk and everything that's come out, I'm still not 100% on Man United at all. Like, I'm still not convinced that this is going to be a foregone conclusion. We're going to beat Spurs. It's crazy to think that I'm not confident going into a game against Spurs. The whole season resting on one game against Spurs and you're not confident kind of shows how bad the season has been, doesn't it, really? Rasmus against the Premier League team, even an injured one like Tottenham, scares me. I wouldn't bother and play Xerxes. Rasmus does have signs of quality, he does, but his confidence is on the floor. There is so much pressure on him. He needs support, and if Xerxes can come on for 15-20 minutes, that would be huge. I would play Xerxes from the start ahead of Rasmus Højlund. That's how much I rate Rasmus Højlund. Cheers for that, Mr. Dacius Sandero. Eric says, I felt like it was on the brink of clicking for Xerxes before his injury. I thought he could be a Poundland. Eric, we all might not rate Højlund, but need to back him tomorrow night. He might have a winning goal in him. He scored against Spurs before. Look, he might have a winning goal in him. He might. And we will be backing him. We'll be backing every single player on that pitch tomorrow night. But again, like from the start, we know where we're at. We know what these players have done before against Premier League sides. And that, I think, is what's holding us back from really being confident tomorrow night. I just don't get it. Getting more nervous as the game approaches. Please, no one on screw-ups, says Neville. Any news on Spurs squad? Derek, pretty much that, really. Bergwall and Maddison have got a chance of playing. Other than that, it's a full-strength Spurs team. And Man United are going to be right up against it. The best that Spurs can put out, I think, might actually be available for Spurs tomorrow and Ange. And that's what United are going to have to beat. I remember last time Man City went trophyless. Man United won the Europa League. Yep. A lot of other people have been driving the underdog narrative before this final as well. As in, like, Palace winning their first ever trophy, Newcastle winning their first in decades. And then you're looking at Harry Kane winning his first trophy ever in his career and things like this. And I'm just like, oh, turn the TV off, for God's sake. I don't even want to listen to it. I don't even want to think down these roads right now. I would get rid of most of the players, but 3 of them, says Thomas. If Delap is back, stick Maguire up top. He will tie up 3 defenders. Maguire has shown more forward and striker capabilities and qualities than Rasmus Højlund has all season, in my opinion. He does. It's not just one of them throwaway stats that either, just for the sake of it. I think he has actually looked better. My heart says 2-1 to us. My head says 1-0 to Spurs. Oh. Hopefully your heart wins over your head, mate. Manny, that's all I'll say. Gyokeres is a must for AMORIM, says Organised Chaos. How many beers you're going to need tonight to sleep? I don't think I'm going to sleep well. I've not slept well all week, to be honest. Like, overthinking absolutely everything. Like, the future of this football club is massively in the balance, isn't it, now? It really is. And I don't think anyone's going to sit or sleep easy until after Wednesday night's game. I worry because we don't do well when we're expected to win. And I think a lot of people think it's going to be more simple than it is. Yeah, I get that, Greg. I do. I really don't think it is going to be an easy game for United. I really don't. I think Spurs are probably the better side on paper in terms of how they're playing. I think Manchester United do have the knack of turning up in big games, which is all we're really holding on to at the moment, isn't it? It really is. Don't forget, guys, tomorrow, I have been talking about this before, but tomorrow night is our match bingo special with our very own Forever United TV game. So as you can see there on the screen, that is our match bingo special. £350 prize pots guaranteed. We need to get 300 tickets in the bag sold for this. It's £2 a ticket, by the way. If you scan that QR code there or drop into the description and click on the link, some of the mods will drop the link in the live chat now for you also. If you use that QR code or my link, you will be directed straight to this game. Only FUTV members, subscribers and followers can win on this game. Anyone using my link is going to be a winner, basically. It's not an open game to the whole of the public in the UK, this one. It is specifically just for FUTV members, subscribers, followers on all social media platforms. So, if you want to grab yourself a chance of winning that massive prize pot tomorrow, along with Man United picking up that trophy, make it a double bubble, then do get onto that QR code, scan it. You have to be over 18 and obviously a UK resident to play along with us. But tomorrow night we are going big. It is a one-off Manchester United versus Spurs Forever United TV match bingo special, everybody. We're going to put the link up in the live chat now, but just for this game, only Forever United TV members and subscribers will be winning. It isn't open to everybody, just us. A special done by the boys down at Match Bingo, and a big thank you to them again for doing this for us and being our match day partners as well. We'll get that link up in the chat now for everybody, so you've got it. I've done it there off Tom's comments there in the live chat now. That's pinned up there for you all. So make sure that you get onto that, everybody. It is going to be an absolute ball tomorrow night. We're doing loads of stuff tomorrow. And I want to try and get someone winning again. We have got people live in this chat right now that have won over 300 quid on Match Bingo as well. You are missing out if you haven't already. Get onto it, everybody. It is as simple as playing a game of bingo while watching a game. Except instead of numbers, it's match events like goals, assists, crossbars, substitutes, cards in certain minutes. Anything that can happen in a game could win you money. Dead easy. Nothing to think about. £2 a card. Simple. If you deposit £5 into an account now as a new new user on Match Bingo, we will double that and put another £10 in as well. So you can buy what cards you can. But £2 a card. Get involved in that, please, everybody. Glenn in the chat with a super chat. Thank you very much, mate. For some reason, I feel like there is going to be a penalty for someone. Hopefully, it's not a penalty shootout, mate. I couldn't handle that tomorrow. The accidental handball rule is so different in Europe. It only takes a deflection. All eyes on the refereeing tomorrow night in handling a Premier League game in European conditions. Loads of people have spoken about that. Loads of people. In terms of our top stories, again, just to go over everything. That's actually happening overnight again and what we've been speaking about. Liam Delap is Man United's top target. We've held face-to-face talks with him. Our executives have met with Delap. He was let go by Ipswich to go and visit Manchester United to get a sense of what it would be like to be a Manchester United player. Our pitch has been put across to Liam Delap, but it does look like Champions League football is going to be the main thing that gets Delap over the line, like the other strikers. Therefore, bringing us into the Gyokeres situation. On Delap as well, in them conversations, Ben Jacobs has said that Manchester United have offered Liam Delap a guarantee he will get significant game time at Manchester United, which I think also is a big thing for Delap and where he goes and what he's actually looking at. So yes, that's where we're at with him. Ruben Amorim, according to Graham Bailey, would prefer, and his coaches would prefer, a more of a Gyokeres type of striker coming into United. But Wilcox is driving the Liam Delap side of things. Benjamin Sesko is not out of the picture either yet and could be an option for Manchester United. So there are striker options right now. Lenny Yoro, Diogo Dalot and Joshua Zirkzee are available for selection for Manchester United for tomorrow night's game. They have all made it back and are part of the travelling matchday squad for Manchester United. Great news there for the Reds and Ruben Amorim. He will have options off the bench, it would seem, as well. Everybody, please do get your comments in the comments section when the live is finished. Let me know on all of the subjects we've talked about there. Who is your striker? If you win the Champions League, is it a case of just going for the obvious, or should we listen to the data analysis and actually go down a different route this time? Let me know in the comments section. Mods, fantastic job in the chat as always. Thank you everybody who has commented. Sorry if I've not managed to get to your comment. It was that many in there and a lot to get through this morning. But please do drop them into the comment section below. We'll have a look through them later on as well. But for now, that is it, everybody. Thank you, and I will see you all later on. I'll keep you updated. Stay tuned. Make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. The bell notification on. There could be more content coming up midday today with any updates that come out of the football club as well. Obviously, we're live again tonight, this evening as well. So loads to get through, everybody. But for now, thank you. Thank you to everyone who actually contributed in the show as well. Fred there just dropping another membership in right at the end. Thank you for that, Fred. And that is us all finished, everybody, for now. I'll see you later on. Have a good one. Don't forget, link in the live chat is for Match Bingo.